Sports Richie here with Statifying Football. This is week 6 for the NFL Sunday and Monday games. Sunday starting with the Miami Dolphins and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Miami lost 45-17 to Tampa Bay. Jacoby Brissett, he wasn't bad. He was hurt, injured, but he did pass for 275, 2 touchdowns and a pick. They only ran for 39 yards as a team. Jacksonville, they got beat by Tennessee 37-19. Trevor Lawrence, 273 passing, 1 touchdown, 1 pick, plus 28 rushing yards and a touchdown on the ground. James Robinson ran for 149 and a touchdown. They did put up 454 yards of offense. Defensively, they had 3 sacks. Both teams are kind of struggling right now, but I think Miami may be the better overall team, especially defensively, maybe better than Jacksonville. So I'm going to go Miami to win that one. Green Bay and Chicago, kind of a big game here. Green Bay beat Cincinnati in overtime 25-22. Green Bay missed 3 field goals in that game before finally getting the winning one. Aaron Rodgers, 344 passing, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Aaron Jones ran for 103. Devontae Adams, 11 catches, 206 receiving yards, and a touchdown. He had 466 yards of offense. Defensively, had 3 sacks in that game. Chicago had kind of a surprising win against the Raiders, 20-9. Justin Fields was pretty good, 111 and a touchdown. They ran for 143 yards as a team. Defensively, they had 3 sacks. Their defense played really well to hold a potent Raider offense down to only 9 points. It could be pretty close only because of Chicago's defense, but I'm going to say Green Bay's defense may confuse Fields just a little bit too much, and Aaron Rodgers should be able to at least find a few plays here and there, and Green Bay should get the win. All right, Cincinnati and Detroit. Cincinnati lost in overtime to Green Bay 25-22. They had 2 missed field goals themselves that could have won it. Joe Burrow, he passed for 281, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. He is injured. We'll see if he can play. Jamar Chase, though, had 6 catches, 159, and a touchdown. Detroit, they lost to Minnesota, 19-17. Jared Goff, 203 passing and an interception. Detroit, they're not as bad as their record. They're 0-5, but they could very easily have won at least 2 or 3 games this season. But I'm going to go with Cincinnati here. They look to be a pretty strong team. They could be a playoff team. I'm going to go with Cincinnati, but this should be a really close game. All right, Houston and Indianapolis. Houston, they lost to New England 25-22. They were up 22-9 in the third quarter. Davis Mills had a really good game though, 312 passing and 3 touchdowns. Chris Moore, 5 catches, 109 and a touchdown. Indianapolis let the game slip away against Baltimore. They had a 16-point lead in the fourth quarter. They lost in overtime 31-25. Carson Wentz, 402 passing yards and 2 touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor ran for 53 yards and a touchdown and had 3 catches for 116 yards receiving and a touchdown. They had 513 total yards of offense. I think Indianapolis is a good team. They're better than their 1-4 record. Maybe they can get a late push and maybe sneak into the playoffs or something as a wild card. At the very least, I do think they will ruin somebody else's playoff chances, and I think they start their winning maybe streak going here against Houston. I got Indianapolis winning. All right, the LA Rams and the New York Giants. Rams lost last Thursday to Seattle 26-17. Matthew Stafford, 365 passing, a touchdown, a pick. Robert Woods went off, 12 catches, 150 yards. They had 476 yards of offense. The Giants, they got demolished by Dallas 44-20. Daniel Jones, he was 5 of 13 for 98 yards. He got a concussion. We'll see if he can play. I know Saquon Barkley was hurt. Mike Glennon came in, 196 passing, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Kadarius Toney had a really great game. Really, 10 catches for 189 yards of offense. It's possible this could be a bit of a shootout. We'll see who comes and plays quarterback for the Giants. I still think the Rams may be a little too much for them to handle, though. All right, Kansas City and Washington. This is kind of a sneaky game. Kansas City has been kind of inconsistent for them, especially. Washington, they're both 2-3, and both can put up points. Kansas City lost to the Bills 38-20. Pat Mahomes, 272 passing, 2 touchdowns. He did throw 2 interceptions as well. They put up 392 yards of offense, but they turned it over 4 times. They can't do that against a potentially potent Washington team. Washington, they lost to New Orleans 33-22. Taylor Heinicke wasn't his best game though. 20 of 41, 248, 2 picks. He did run for 40 yards. I think KC's going to be one that bounces back. And this could be a shootout, but I think KC will win that one. All right, Minnesota and Carolina, kind of an interesting NFC game. Minnesota, they beat Detroit 19-17. Kirk Cousins, 275 passing, a touchdown, a pick. Alexander Mattison ran for 113. Justin Jefferson, 7 catches, 124 yards. And defensively, they had 4 sacks in that game. Carolina, they were up 15-3 on Philadelphia, let Philly come all the way back, and they lost to Philadelphia 21-18. Sam Darnold did not have a very good game at all. 177 passing, 1 touchdown. He threw 3 interceptions in that game. Chuba Hubbard filled in pretty well for McCaffrey. He ran for 101 yards. They only had 267 total yards of offense. Defensively, they did force a safety in that game. This should be a pretty close game. Both teams are pretty stout. Both have good running backs, decent quarterbacks. Most games come down to who turns it over less. But this one in particular, I think, will come down to maybe a field goal at the end. Minnesota's favored by 1. I'm going to say Darnold bounces back and has a decent enough game. And I think Carolina comes out with a maybe 1 or 2 point victory. All right, the Chargers in Baltimore. This should be a fun game. Chargers, they won a shootout of old college-style shootout against Baker Mayfield in Cleveland. They won 47-42. Justin Herbert, 398 passing yards, 4 touchdown passes, and ran for 29 yards and a rushing touchdown. Mike Williams, 8 catches, 165 yards, 2 touchdowns, had 493 total yards of offense. So Baltimore had an awesome come-from-behind victory against Indianapolis on Monday night. They were down 25-9 in the fourth quarter, came all the way back to win in overtime, 31-25. Lamar Jackson was insane and in passing, 37 of 43, 442 yards and 4 passing touchdowns, and added the 62 on the ground. Mark Andrews, 11 catches, 147 and 2 touchdowns. Marquise Brown, 9 catches, 125 and 2 touchdowns. They had 523 total yards. This is going to go back and forth. Justin Herbert, Lamar Jackson. Man, both 4-1. Baltimore is favored by 3. I'll give it to Baltimore only because Chargers do have to travel across the country to Baltimore. Maybe Baltimore can get their running game going with Jackson to kind of keep the Chargers off the field a little bit. But this could be a fun game to watch, and it could be a preview of maybe the AFC Championship game this year. I'm going to go with Baltimore in this one. All right, Arizona, Cleveland, the two Heisman winners at Oklahoma that played with each other. Kyler Murray, Arizona, against Baker Mayfield of Cleveland. Arizona, they had a grinded out defensive battle win against San Francisco, 17-10. Murray, 239 passing and a touchdown. Cleveland, they lost in that shootout to the Chargers, 47-42. Baker, 305 passing and 2 touchdowns. Nick Chubb, 161 rushing and a touchdown. David Njoku, 7 catches, 149 and a touchdown. They had 531 total yards. This could be another shootout, could be another college-type shootout kind of game. Cleveland's favored by 3. I'm kind of leaning that way. Arizona looks really good. They don't look unbeatable. Cleveland can kind of score on anybody. I'm kind of leaning towards Cleveland on this one. I'll pick Cleveland to end that. Arizona is the last undefeated team. That ends this weekend. All right, the Las Vegas Raiders and Denver Raiders, they lost 29-9 to Chicago. Derek Carr, 206 passing and an interception. He had 10 penalties and only 259 total yards. We'll see where the Raiders' heads are at because John Gruden resigned and will not be coaching in that game. Denver, they lost to Pittsburgh 27-19. Teddy Bridgewater, 288 passing, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Sutton, 7 catches, 120 and a touchdown. I'm going to say, I think the Bears showed what to do against the Raiders' offense with their defense. Denver does have a good defense as well, their defensive line. I think maybe they can slow down the Raiders again amidst all that turmoil emotionally maybe this week. So I'm going to go with Denver actually getting a victory there. All right, Dallas and New England. This will be an interesting one. Dallas, they destroyed the Giants 44-20. Dak Prescott, 302 passing, 3 touchdowns, a pick. Ezekiel Elliott ran for 110. And a touchdown, and had 1 receiving touchdown. They had 515 yards of offense and had an interception return for a touchdown by their defense. New England, they got by Houston 25-22. They were down 22-9 at one point, came all the way back. Mac Jones, 231, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Defensively at 3 sacks. This could be a close game. I think New England's defense will slow Dallas down a little bit, but I think Dallas may have just a little too much offense for New England to keep up with, so I got Dallas winning that game. All right, Seattle and Pittsburgh. Seattle, they lost to the Rams last week 26-17. Russell Wilson passed for 152, a touchdown and a pick, but he's injured and will be out for the next few games. Geno Smith came in and was okay, 131 passing, a touchdown and pick, plus 23 rushing yards. Pittsburgh had a really good win against Denver, 27-19. Ben Roethlisberger, 253 passing and 2 touchdowns. Harris ran for 122 and a touchdown. Chase Claypool, 5 catches, 130 and a touchdown. I think it'll be Pittsburgh winning that game. It'll be in Pittsburgh. Seattle's got to fly across the country. Russell Wilson won't be there. Geno Smith, he's solid quarterback, but I think Ben and the Pittsburgh Steelers maybe found something last week against Denver, and maybe they'll put a string of wins together starting with this one against Seattle. All right, the Monday night game is a pretty big game. Another potential AFC championship game shootout, if not at least an AFC playoff preview between the Bills and the Titans. The Bills had a great game against Kansas City, 38-20. They won. Josh Allen, 315 passing, 3 touchdowns, plus 59 rushing and a touchdown. Dawson Knox, 3 catches, 117 and a touchdown. They had 436 total yards. Defensively, they forced 4 turnovers and had an interception return for a touchdown. Tennessee, they beat Jacksonville 37-19. Ryan Tannehill, 197 passing and a touchdown. Derrick Henry ran for 130 and 3 touchdowns. They ran for 184 as a team. Defensively, they had a fumble return for a touchdown. These are, Buffalo, they're doing it through the air with Josh Allen, looking like what Kansas City has looked like the past few years, passing it around. Tennessee's a grinding out team with Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry, I think he's run for 100 yards in the last 3 games or so. He's a definite MVP candidate. This may be one of those games where Tennessee, they can grind it out and run it, keep that Bills offense on the sideline, get some pressure on Josh Allen. Maybe they can win it. I'm going to say Buffalo, though, will end up winning. Josh Allen is winning me over. Buffalo looks really good. They look like a Super Bowl contender for sure. Tennessee's kind of a dark horse contender. They should at least be able to sneak into the playoffs. But I got the Bills winning this game. Like I said, maybe a preview for a playoff game in the future. So those are my picks for the Sunday and Monday night NFL games. Check out my other videos as well. Peace.